Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today we are going to be making some treats for Nuffield. So for those of you that don't know, I make treats for my gym every month. So I make usually like 1 or 2 things depending on what it is that I'm making. So it's usually things like brownie millionaires, rocky roads. I've made cupcakes before, I've made cookie pies, just make various different things and kind of use it as an opportunity to try new recipes, and then it means that I can kind of test them out on them. They always say that things are lovely, so that's always nice. But we are going to be trying out a new recipe. I got this, I think it was in 2022, and I have not used it. So it's the Finch Bakery Brownie roll. So I'm not going to give you the full recipe just because I've obviously purchased it, and it's not because I've purchased it that it's the issue, but they obviously sell it, and I don't think I would be allowed to just give you the recipe for free, because they might have an issue with that. But I can give you the method, and then obviously you use your own recipe. So it has a brownie recipe. I'm going to be using theirs instead of mine just because I want to try it out as a whole recipe, and then you can fill it with your choice of filling. I'm going to be doing Biscoff, and then Biscoff biscuits crushed, just because I have that, so it's a good way to use those products. And then for decoration, it's a choice of chocolate to cover it, and then you can decorate it with whatever you like. It's a Yule log recipe, so they recommend things like holly, but obviously we're past Christmas, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do it as a Yule log, but kind of like a Swiss roll. That's the aim. So yeah, I'm going to be using their brownie recipe, but you can use your own and then just follow the method. So we're going to start by making the actual brownie recipe. That is then going to cool, and then we'll come back for the actual assembly of it. So yeah, let's get right into it. Right, so just a little update. I have done all the rolling, you would have seen that, so it's now setting in the fridge. I'm going to need to just coat it in the outside coating. It's currently 7, it's starting to harden. I only finished it about 6 o'clock, so I might get a chance to do it tonight, because then it can set overnight. But the coating is literally just chocolate and oil. You can use spread if you prefer, but I don't think that will harden, so I'm going to do chocolate and oil just to cover it, and then that will set overnight, so that's fine, so that shouldn't take too long. But I thought I'd just show you it in the fridge just so you can see what it's looking like. I did quite a long one, so what I think I'm going to do is cut the ends off, because they have split slightly, but that's fine because it's still, like I say, bigger than a normal Yule log, and then they can cut it into whatever slices they want. But yeah, I'm actually surprised that it turned out as good as it did. If I'm honest, I thought it was going to be a disaster. So it looks really funny because it's really long. So as you can see, the Biscoff, where you've rolled it, I did it a bit too close to the edge, so it's slightly spilled out there and at the ends. But what I'm going to do is, there's a slight crack here, so I'm going to cut it there, and then I'm going to cut at the other end as well. That one hasn't got cracks, so I can cut a bit closer, and then it means that these will be like sharp edges. And then I may have to cut it in half depending on whether it's easy to lift, because it's quite long. Like I say, I might split it into 2 halves, and then they can cut it up as they wish, but it'll just be like 2 little Yule logs. We'll see. But yeah, so it's slightly messy at the end where it's like coming out, but it will be tidied up once it's done. But it's still a bit soft, but it is definitely hardening. So yeah, I just used cling film, put it on this board as you saw, and that was a nice easy way to actually wrap it up. But yes, so very pleased with how that turned out. So I'll give you an update when I actually do all the decorations. But considering it was the first time I did it, I think it's turned out pretty good. So that will be a nice little thing to give them tomorrow, and then I'll hopefully get some feedback. Usually, like when I bring stuff in for Nuffield, they give me like, not a review, but when I come in, because I go in there like daily, then when I come in like the days after they've had it, they'll tell me how it was. So I'm sure I'll get some feedback on it, so fingers crossed they like it, and then I'll know like whether to make it again and stuff. But it's nice and easy to make, so I definitely recommend it. And obviously it's not finished yet, I will show you the decorating. Right, so this is the finished Yule log. Those are the 2 ends that I had to cut off. So as you can see, I've tried to make it look a bit like a Yule log where it's got the lines, and then we've just got Biscoff biscuits. So yeah, it is looking good. It just needs to go in the fridge to set, so that the outside will set. It's a mixture of dark chocolate and Biscoff for the outside, so the chocolate will make it harden, whereas if you just use Biscoff spread, it will stay a bit tacky, so that it won't set as nicely. So yeah, and then depending on which box I put it in, I might cut it in half, but I think I may just leave it as it is, and then they can cut it into the sizes that they want it. So that is how you make the Biscoff brownie Yule log. So it's actually very easy to make, and one of the bits that I cut off, I managed to try a bit of, and it is so nice. The only thing I would say that I do differently is when I laid it out and did the filling, I would then put it in the fridge for a little bit. I don't believe it said that on the recipe, but I may have missed it. So I would put it in the fridge in between, because then the filling will set a little bit, so that when you roll it, it won't come out of the Yule log as much. But that isn't essential, I don't think, because not actually that much of the filling came out, only say a teaspoon from each end, but I think it just spread around within the roll a bit more. So it may have been a bit more evenly spread if it hadn't have done that, but I'm still happy with it for a first go. So yeah, hopefully they like it. They usually like my brownies, so I think we should be good with this one. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video, and I will see you in the next one.